first official mandatory practice of the year, really the season. Talked to our guys about a lot of preparation has gone into this point. We put a lot of work in already, but this becomes our official beginning going forward for the 2023 season, and everybody's very excited to get started. Also, congratulations to the Denver Nuggets basketball fans. Yeah, right. Awesome team, great team effort. Won it playing defense, interestingly enough. And then to the Miami Heat, I love those guys, love Coach Spoelstra, and what they accomplished this year. I was kind of pulling for those guys, to be honest with you. Just love their grit. So, basketball, you know. Now we got baseball to look at too, right? The O's. So they're rolling too. So, what questions you have?
John, with Odell being here, what do you kind of expect as far as his level of participation in practice?
Right. Well, you know, he's going to be full go in terms of health and all that. But I also expect us to ramp up a lot of our guys. You know, we're going to see where guys are at. We're not going to be in a hurry to throw guys out there too much, too many reps. We want to get a feel for everything. He's learning the offense for the first time, just like a lot of guys have been. So I think it will be a kind of a see as we go through individual, take a few reps in group and team, and see how he and the other guys feel, and we'll go from there.
John, we saw during OTAs that Bateman was doing individual and working off to the side. Are you expecting him to be a part of it?
Not expecting Bate to be a part of it right now. He had a shot, you know, for healing purposes, cortisone type deal. So that'll keep him out for a couple days. So we just decided to just let him keep rehabbing and make sure he's ready to go for training camp.
Hey, Coach, with J.K. Dobbins being here, how do you see the potential of bringing the best out of him under Todd Monken's offense?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that is something that J.K.'s excited about, Todd's excited about, we all are. It's going to be interesting how he fits in because J.K.'s got a lot of dynamic ability, you know, backfield motion, wide plays, inside plays, even the A-gap plays that we've always run. As a receiver out of the backfield, I think he's got a lot of potential. So very excited about J.K. and how he's going to fit in here.
Just back to Odell for a second. With the heights he kind of reached as a receiver in this league and him coming back after, you know, almost 2 years off,
Yeah.
Does that add juice to your room? Does that add juice to going on the field today?
Well, I mean, you love great players and great people and guys who love football. You know, and the one thing I've seen about Odell, like all of our guys, is he loves football. And the other thing that we like is guys who want to be here. And he's very excited to be here. He wants to be here. So that combination is good. You know, any football coach loves that. But he's a highly decorated player without question. Has been in all the big battles, you know, over the years. He's worked really hard to get himself back to this point where he's, you know, he's excited to go, and I'm sure he's a little anxious and, you know, anticipating getting back on the field for the first time. So, you know, we're not going to go crazy out here, but I think it's a good first step for him. And of course, we're excited that he's here. We're excited that all of our guys are here.
John, did your entire roster report to camp?
Yes.
John, Michael Pierce is someone we've seen throughout the spring, football, school, OTAs, everything. With him coming back from the injury, how has he looked, and what are your expectations for him, considering you didn't have him very long last year before the injury?
Right, exactly. Michael Pierce has looked great. He's been here every day. He's worked extremely hard, moving very well. I think he's very determined. You know, I mean, Michael was on a trajectory, and then all of a sudden had a couple of injuries that sidetracked him the last few years. So I think he's very determined to kind of get back on track that way, and have high expectations for him.
What about Manabike? Coach, we're going to be talking to him later. What are you hoping for him?
Yeah, I expect him to take off. You know, and just really, and I say take off, but kind of continue on the same track. Take the next step as a player. I think he's going to have a great year.
John, I know it may not be too competition mode just yet, but with the wide receiver room, it looks like this may be probably the most competitive group you've had in camp in a while. Are you excited just about the competition within that position group?
Yeah, I was looking at a picture. Actually, it was in my basement, you know, above. I got this pool table. It's one of those old, like, pool tables, you know, where you got to put the coin in it. Except now you don't have to put the coin in it, right? But you still got to push the button. And above that is a picture of it's Jacoby, Torrey, Steve Smith are in there, and we're like doing something at practice, you know. I thought that was a good group, right? This group rivals that group, you know, and it might be the best. We'll see. I mean, that's up to them to determine that, but I'm very excited about those guys.
John, there have been a lot of stories over the last few months about guys around the league being investigated for gambling. Just curious, what do you guys do to make sure that your players know what they can do and what they can't do? And does it worry you ever that maybe there are a few confusing points in there that it's hard for guys to know exactly?
It does concern you that, it's not always too clear. I mean, the clearest thing would be just stay away from it, but, guys are going to be on vacation and they may play blackjack or whatever. There's nothing wrong with that if they do that, if that's what they do. But it is very clear in terms of sports gambling, in terms of where you can be during the season, those kind of things, and in terms of not betting on football, period, end of story. That's pretty darn clear. So I don't think it's that hard to figure out, really. If you want to push it, then you're probably doing yourself a disservice, putting yourself at risk. And if you have any questions, you should ask before you get into anything, right? So I think the rules are fair and smart and good, and we spent a lot of time yesterday talking about it with the guys. Even Eric came down and talked to the guys about it. So our guys should understand what's going on.
Talking about that specifically?
Talking about gambling specifically,
okay.
Right.
John, is there anyone else that you ruled out for today, just injury-wise?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, but I'm probably forgetting somebody. If you want to give me a name, I'll remember the guys, though. Pepe's out. Jalen is going to do ACT and some individual. Pepe's going to be out probably, maybe even, he tells me he's going to be back to start training camp. We'll see. That's where he's at with his process.
John, as far as with Odell, you guys still kind of new to everything here. And what's been kind of your impression? Because, I mean, everyone kind of has these thoughts of Odell, and they always see him in his certain image. What's kind of been your impression of him?
My impression of Odell Beckham has been nothing but I love the guy. I mean, he's a pro. He's what you would expect from a world-class athlete. He's a highly competitive guy. He wants to play at the highest level and only the highest level. He's not interested in not playing and performing at the very highest level. From everything I've heard, he's a big-time practice player. Everything I've seen, he's a big-time train himself guy, workout guy, get ready to play. So, those are the things that you always respect. And I don't think you can perform at the level he's performed at or some of the guys. I think back to Terrell Owens, for instance. We had him in Philadelphia. He came in, all the hype and all the things from the personality standpoint. Nobody worked hard at practice. Nobody worked hard in the weight room. The guy came to special teams meetings. I mean, he was into football, So, to me, those kind of guys reach that level for a reason. And, he's in a place in his career where I think he feels like he has a lot to prove at this point. And I think he feels like he's going to be the healthiest he's been in a few years. So, let's go.
John, I think you said that you were getting sort of updates on Odell's training when he was out in, Arizona? Was there anything about those dispatches that popped out to you or anything that you saw that it's like, oh man, yeah, this guy does this, he goes hard?
Yeah, not really. I mean, it's hard to watch a video and see too much, but I trust him, and I'm sure he's ready to go.
John, we talked about the competitions of wide receiver and left guard. Is there any other positions or roles that you're kind of focused on specifically with the competition leading into mandatory camp?
Of course. I mean, every position you focus on, and every position's got a different kind of a priority list to it. But, we'll be looking at, in the secondary, we'll be looking to kind of firm up our different roles back there, corner, inside, and outside. That'll be something that'll be important. Our outside backers, young, kind of plug those guys into their spots, see how they emerge. D-line, certainly, what the rotations are going to be. Offensive line you talked about already.
John, you mentioned that you're excited about seeing how Lamar takes on a new freedom of calling plays at the line or changing plays. Obviously, you trust him to do that. How do his responsibilities change, and does his preparation change as he takes on what might be more responsibility?
Well, I mean, Lamar's always prepared really hard, like everybody. I mean, but it's going to be a different type of preparation because there's going to be different things he's going to be responsible to be looking at. It'll be a different lens he's going to be looking through. So, in terms of the way the offense has been built, every offense is built a little differently. So he's looking at certain things that he wasn't looking at before in a certain way. The way it's worded, the way Todd teaches it, the way the offensive coaches have put it together will be his perspective on it. So I think he'll study differently. I do think it's going to fit Lamar. I've told him that. We had a great talk about it yesterday. I think it's going to fit the way he sees the game really well. That's the hope. He feels that way right now. So now we just got to get to work and let it rip and see what happens.
Good.
All set? Great. Thank you.